Hello and welcome back. We are the opposite of... just fell down.
The opposite of graceful today.
Today, to celebrate our Halloweeny time frame, blah, 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 blah,
Blah, blah, blah.
we are going to be reading quote-unquote creepy stories. They just have some sort of creep factor. It's not like scary stories or anything.
Mm-hmm.
And if there's any trigger warnings, I don't really think there will be much of trigger warnings, but I'll let you know as I go. All right, let's read the first one. The first one is going to be very short and sweet. It's not even really a story. It's more like it's from Ask Reddit. And it just made me laugh, so I wanted to put it in here. So it's an Ask Reddit post. It's flagged as NSFW, which means not safe for work, if you did not know that. Anyway, so the question was, you can have sex with one real person from all of human history. Who is your ultimate lay? And the top comment with 17,000.9K, well, you know what I mean, likes or upvotes is, I'd like to have sex one more time with my wife who passed away from cancer 9 years ago. My body yearns for hers. The ultimate downside to finding the one is she may die young and leave you wanting, which is very sweet. But the comment directly underneath it with 27,000 upvotes is, I also choose this guy's dead wife.
Monstrous. Oh my gosh. The internet is not for everyone.
Then someone said, holy fucking shit, my dude. And then someone corrected him and said, my necro.
Yeah.
Necro, please. That's
Yeah.
what someone else said.
Oh, wow.
This is evil. Anyway, it was really funny.
Messed up.
I don't even know if there's anything else on that thread. It got taken over by
that joke. Yeah.
that joke.
That's horrible. Oh my gosh. Though it brings up the question. Do you have an answer for it? What would be the one lay in all people of human history?
They have to be dead right now, right? One dead person.
Sure. We'll qualify
Right?
it
One
as
person
that.
who died.
Sure. We'll qualify it as that.
No,
I don't know what the
wasn't
question is. What's the question?
That wasn't the question.
Okay. Well, you're the one.
I think he brought death into it when he said, who would you have sex with?
Well,
okay,
yeah.
you can have sex with one real person from all of human history. Oh, basically living or dead.
Yeah. Wow. Anyway.
Would I piss too many people off if I said Jesus?
Yes. Definitely.
Just so I can tell about the experience.
Oh my gosh. That is so wild. That I did not think of that one. That's crazy. Oh my gosh. I was gonna say something like cool, like Queen Elizabeth or something, so that my kids could just immediately be royalty and then have no worries.
You don't want that life. You don't want it.
What are you talking about? Well, also, you're like so sassy. You don't want it.
I don't know what's wrong with me today.
I feel like my pick is better than Jesus. What the heck? And like her reason being, just because I can.
I don't really want to have sex with anybody.
No, you made your pick. You definitely made your pick.
I would only want to have sex with them if they'd want to have sex with me.
I take it back. It wouldn't be Queen Elizabeth, because what would really happen is not the children thing. It's the she just has me murdered and silenced.
Am I allowed? Sorry. I picked, but I'll let you continue what you were going to say first. I'm sorry.
No, that's basically my point.
Oh, okay.
Why would you interrupt me like that?
Am I allowed to pick an anime character? I don't have a real person.
Wow.
Unfortunately, this person's a teenager, but I'm gonna.
Oh
pretend
no!
that-
You're done. You're done. He doesn't look like a teenager. That does not help you at all. Oh my god!
I'm gonna put a picture of him.
Cancelled.
it's different. It's different when it's like you were that age when you watched all of that.
I mean,
you know what I mean?
Yes.
Granted, I was still over 18, but
Oh yeah, no, super canceled.
no.
Like a mega canceled.
No,
and you're also an adult now, still picking your 18-year-old option. So like,
I didn't think of that till after I said it. Okay, well, let me just say who it is.
JoJo.
And by the way, I'm not alone in this. I'm pretty sure his name is Agata. His last name? I don't remember his first name.
From what?
He's the.
Come on.
He's from Sket Dance. He's like I'll show you a picture. Me and my friend Alex are like, he's like the most attractive anime character I've ever seen drawn.
Yeah. You don't like
and
throw
it's very
in Alex to be
simplistic.
like, see, I swear I'm normal, and then give Alex's opinion.
I never said I was normal, but I don't think I'm like a pedophile. But
Alex, you've also been added as a pedophile as well.
Here's the thing. It's kind of like how people talk about that guy from Casper's real form, how he was like so cute back in the day. It's like you watched that when you were like 10 or younger. And you just think about it and you think about how you were when you were 10. And that's why it's like acceptable. But if I saw that kid now, obviously no. But then anime characters, any age you want them to be. I'm just kidding. I'm so sorry.
Oh my. Oh my.
No. I'm just kidding. Anyway, so I'd rather fuck Jesus.
Yeah, that's crazy. That's a safer option. That was your less tame answer.
And keep in mind, this would be
that's your more tame
Jesus.
answer.
And it would also be the version of Jesus who is alive.
Oh my god.
And I guess we'd have to get married first.
By his standards?
Yeah, but you know, I think he would accept the hall pass rule. I think he'd be like, it's cool.
The whole thing would be missionary. Anyway, so yeah,
I wouldn't piss too many people off with that. I'm obviously joking.
That was a whole thing. Oh my gosh. Okay.
So who would you have sex with? Sacagawea?
Oh yeah, it's not Queen Elizabeth anymore because my whole point of it would not even happen. I have no idea. I don't have a real answer.
You have to have an answer after I just gave two really insane answers.
I mean, that just means that you think about this a lot.
I do not think about
all
this
the time.
lot.
Actually, it's kind of crazy.
You don't have to answer. You could just say that guy's wife.
You know what? I'm gonna come back to that. I'll have an answer later. Also, in the comments, y'all put your answers. I want to see what other people.
If you could have sex with one dead person,
one person living,
we're gonna add anime characters in there since I asked for an anime character.
And then no matter what anime character, we're gonna assume it's their adult self.
And you are allowed to use teenagers as an example as long as they are not portrayed in a teenagery light.
That's what I just said, and then you proceed to just make it worse. Oh my gosh. We're assuming that whatever character you pick, it is their adult version. Yes. Okay, cool.
No, that's kind of how I think of the dude from Sket Dance.
Straight to jail.
Straight to jail. Okay. I changed my answer. Gojo, hands down.
Oh my gosh, you're so basic.
He's a little too skinny for me, but he makes up for it in every other way.
That's like the strawberry Pop-Tarts answer versus like the one Pop-Tart from 2008.
It's like a basic bitch anime watcher.
I don't know if you know the reference we're talking about.
Strawberry Pop-Tarts? No. Anyway, now that I have done a lot of damage to my image
and to our relationship.
Sorry. Hey, Jesus is a good answer though. Do you know why? Because look, I could meet Jesus and then we'll put away all of the questions of like, is this real? Is Jesus like all I'd have all the answers. Is Jesus a good lay?
Yeah. That's the one question that everyone would ask.
Okay, this is supposed to be a Reddit stories video.
Yeah.
We are gonna be the Reddit story.
Yeah, for real.
Okay, so what's the? Oh, sorry,
I like how this is supposed to be the spooky episode too, and like that's what we.
Well, we're a little spooky, aren't we? Mm-hmm. Oh, I'm sorry, I'm reading the wrong one. Okay, next. You're putting me out there. You're like making me walk the plank.
You did this to yourself.
Am I the asshole for calling the police on my creepy neighbor? I'm a young woman living alone in a studio apartment with a courtyard view. So when I look out the window, there's another apartment complex. For a few months now, I've noticed this one male neighbor staring at me very often throughout the day and pulling out his phone to seemingly record / take pictures when I change or when I'm in PJs. Wait, why don't you close your window when you're changing?
Yeah, for
whatever.
Real.
I now try to keep the blinds closed as often as possible, but I don't have AC and I really need to have the windows open as it gets really hot in here. They open inward, so I can't open the window if the blinds are down. That sucks. At first I give the guy the benefit of the doubt, but even some of my friends have this running joke of asking, can we come over, or is that guy gonna stare at us again? Today again, I caught him staring and I sort of shrugged to let him know I saw him staring. He shrugged as well and pulled out his phone to record / photograph me again until I pulled the blinds back down. After asking my lawyer friend for advice, they told me to report it to the police as it could be considered harassment. I called the non-emergency line. They sent a policeman to get my report and he went to give the guy a warning. The same policeman later called me saying that this was all a big misunderstanding as the neighbor films a lot of videos for his social media and allegedly records himself in front of the window and not me. He also denied ever staring. Apparently he had some friends over and they all vouched for him and laughed it off. Creepy.
Yeah.
On one hand, it's not like he was going to admit to it if he was creeping. On the other hand, maybe he's right and I'm crazy lady who called the cops on my neighbor for no good reason. Either way, I'm embarrassed and I've kind of never want to open my blinds again. Am I the asshole?
Oh, yeah, no. That dude definitely is doing that. That dude's 100% like taking pictures of her.
They're just, you're just being gaslit at that point. It's
if nothing else, the fact that he shrugged back that one time is like 100% proof. Yeah.
Uh-huh. The top comment is the neighbors and the policeman's responses both seem like they're minimizing your discomfort and insisting you're mistaken. Based on your description, though, it seems like you have every right to feel uncomfortable. Having someone consistently watch you in your private space is definitely not okay. You're not the asshole. I'd consider buying some kind of cloth or you could put over the windows to maintain your privacy while still letting some breeze through. Or you could set up a space where you can safely change without being seen, possibly like a folding screen or something similar. I'm so sorry this is happening to you.
Yeah. This also sucks that to be stuck in this situation with a bad, like, you know, no actual AC. So you have to keep your window open. Yeah,
that really sucks. Mm-hmm. But I do agree. She needs to get one of those little folding screens. They're not that expensive. They used to be like $50. I don't know how much they are now. Probably more like 80 because of everything going up. But yeah, I definitely think that's what she should do. And obviously it was not the asshole. Nobody thinks that she's the asshole in that situation because like if a creepy person is looking at you and even the policeman is like, oh, well, he just says it's a misunderstanding.
Yeah.
No, he's been watching me consistently and he's not pointing his phone at himself to record. He's going like this.
Yeah.
It's not the first story, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And yeah, I think the other thing to point out too is that even if it turns out he was innocent, it's not like he suffered any damage or consequence from you calling the police on him. So there's no reason to feel like an asshole in this scenario because he didn't suffer at all and is probably going to still continue doing it. I don't know if he'll still continue doing it after that. Who knows? Well,
yeah, but she needs to continue calling the police. There needs to be record of it so that when they find her body, they know who did it.
Oh.
That's all that's going to happen. They're not going to do anything for it. I'm sorry, I'm a little morbid, but...
I think as a woman, it makes more sense that you're going to be feeling that way a little bit more.
They don't usually take you seriously until somebody already hurt you.
Yeah.
They won't they're not like a dentist, okay? They're not doing preventive care. They are just trying to find who did it so they can punish them. It's very a punish-based system. That way they can have slaves running their country.
Oh, wow.
Anyway, that's a whole different thing.
Yeah.
The whole criminal justice system is just modern slavery.
Yeah. It's super messed.
Yeah. The fact that they have... I'm going to get on a rabbit hole.
So, next comment.
Okay. Next story.
Next story.
This is also Am I the Asshole? Am I the asshole for letting my niece and nephew watch a scary movie and only giving them Pop-Tarts for food in emergency? Okay, so I already know what the scary movie is, but what do you think the scary movie is?
Wait, what? And only giving them Pop-Tarts?
Pop-Tarts for food in an emergency. I don't know what that part's about.
It's us. I don't know. Like, I don't know why I keep thinking Casper. I guess we talked about Casper.
We talked about the hot boy.
You were not helping
no,
yourself.
I'm just kidding.
Okay.
As a child, 8 years old, you're like, wow, he's so cute.
Yeah, you're not helping yourself.
And as an adult, you're like, oh, that's a child.
Anyway, so I don't know.
Okay, well, I'll just read.
Insidious? Just kidding.
So, I am helping close my parents' cabin down for the season. My sister also came up with her husband and 2 kids who are 4 and 6-year-old girls. So my brother-in-law fell off the roof and my sister had to take him to the ER about an hour away. His leg is broken. He'll be fine. So now I have the kids and sister left with the... so now I have the kids and sister left with the kids' tablet in the back of the car. So since the kids are upset and want to watch something, I dig out the old VCR and attach it to the TV. We only had 3 movie options: an old miniseries called The Thornbirds, a World War II documentary, and The Neverending Story.
That is a horror movie. Oh
Yep.
my gosh.
Since Thornbirds is about a lady having an affair with a priest, from what I recall, and World War II didn't seem to be a cheerful option, I threw in Neverending Story. Fair, given the options, except for the fact that I would rather do nothing than watch any of those movies. Then I tried to figure out food, which left the options of Pop-Tarts or a sketchy can of corn stuffed in the back of the cupboard. We had planned to go out to the little store down the road, but it closes at 8 this time of year. Anything else is about a 45-minute drive. So Pop-Tarts for dinner it is. Unfortunately, I forgot about the swamp scene in Neverending Story, and the nieces were quite upset. They calmed down and watched the rest, but are now having nightmares. My sister says I should have drove to get them proper food and played a game with them, not a scary movie. I said that the only game was Yahtzee, and they are way too young for that, and I did my best. She's mad as hell at me. My mom said maybe I should have drove to get food, but my dad agreed that was a long drive at night with little kids. Am I the asshole?
I mean, no. But yes.
It's like, has he seen Neverending Story?
It's
That swamp scene,
It is
Roy,
a traumatic children's movie.
It is the most traumatic children's movie. The only one more traumatic for me as a child was probably Gremlins.
But like,
or Signs.
You know, it's just a little trauma. They'll get over it. Anyway, but I'm more concerned about the Pop-Tarts part, honestly.
Feeding the children Pop-Tarts.
For dinner.
Yeah, he should have just taken the kids somewhere.
Yeah.
But I can understand why he decided not to. And they're not even his kids.
Yeah.
But no, like Neverending Story, 4 years old and 6 years old. I think the first time I saw it was in that age range. And I will tell you, like, first of all, I hate that movie. Second of all, why on earth was it made? It is the most, it gives me the most ucky feelings.
You know what's crazy is right now I have this huge urge to watch it.
No. But I will tell you, and this is the scene we're talking about. It is the most traumatic scene possible. If you have not seen Neverending Story, I'll describe the scene. This young boy is on a quest to like save the universe, basically. And he has a horse, and his horse, they're in like they've already traversed a long way. They go into this, I guess, swamp thing that's supposed to like make you depressed and steal your, I don't know, steal your happiness kind of thing. It wasn't like that big of a thing, but anyway, the horse gets stuck in quicksand, and the boy is kind of able to like, make his way through the quicksand, but the horse just gives up. And this horse, you just see him trying his best to pull the horse out of this quicksand, and the horse keeps sinking further and further and further. And it was the most traumatic scene as a child and as an adult too, to be honest. But like, oh my gosh, why would you put that in a kid's movie? Give me Tangled, please.
That's how they learn about death.
The Neverending Story is a crazy movie. And you know what really bothers me? This is a side note, but this is what makes it a horror movie for me. That art style that's like from like the Labyrinth and like what is that crystal? The Dark Crystal and Neverending Story. I hate it. I can't stand it. It is kind of like nails on a chalkboard for my eyes.
That's the weird puppet stuff, right? Yeah.
Creepy. Labyrinth isn't as bad, but it's still bad. I don't like it. But Dark Crystal and Neverending Story are like the absolute worst. And that monster dog dragon thing. I cannot. I'll put a picture. I cannot. Anyway,
I'll be watching this movie
what are
later.
your feelings?
Yeah, I guess, yeah, that's funny. I'm still more concerned with Pop-Tarts. I just think that's the other thing. I need to watch the movie again because I don't feel like I was nearly as traumatized by it as everyone else was.
Because you have no soul.
Yeah, my childhood was worse than that movie. Just kidding. But yeah, I don't know. That's why I need to watch it again. Might have to, do a little update later.
Someone just mentioned, okay, I'll read these. Okay. There's like a line of comments. Someone says, not the asshole. Emergency childcare is for emergencies. Were the kids alive and not significantly injured when they got back? Great. You did a good job. Nightmares are unpredictable, and kids that age can have them about anything. One of my cousins, he was terrified of Neverending Story, obviously. Finding Nemo. So, and he kept talking about how the fish were coming through the wall and stuff like that. Yeah, so you never know what kids are going to freak out about. Anyway, and like say their dad falling off a roof, being in pain and disappearing for a long time with their mom. Odds are it's not just Artax in the swamp triggering nightmares. Artax is the name of I think it's the name of the horse. I still cry when I remember that scene.
Oh, wow.
Someone said, true that kids can get nightmares about anything. Literally a few scenes in The Brave Little Toaster gave me nightmares as a kid. Me freaking too. The Brave Little Toaster is freaking traumatizing. Ooh, do you remember a few years ago I had an epiphany when we were watching a movie?
It's like was it the Cauldron or the Librarian or something?
We were watching The Page Master.
That's what it is, yeah.
And there's this creepy scene with the fireplace and like this green like fire. And I was like, that's the scene that kept replaying in my nightmares when I was a child. And I didn't know what the heck that was. But I had recurring nightmares that were brought on by that scene in particular.
Why this hit you so hard? You feel what those children feel.
Especially when it's already creepy. I understand it's weird maybe if they have a dream of finding Nemo, like that's kind of weird.
Yeah.
But like the creepy stuff, yeah, I can understand having nightmares about that as a child.
That's funny.
But Brave Little Toaster, that movie's trauma. While we're on the topic, I'm gonna read more comments, but let us know in the comments. Was there a movie that scared the crap out of you as a child? or just happen to give you random nightmares.
Specifically a movie that's like was not created to be
it's not like a scary movie.
Yeah, yeah. For me,
Yeah.
Final Destination was my thing, but that was a scary movie.
Yeah. Okay, someone says, okay, yeah, but the Brave Little Toaster had some horrifying things in it. Like how the cars were singing and then crushed into cubes. Some of them trying to run away.
I forgot about that.
Oh, someone said, I could have been worse. My parents let us watch Watership Down because they had bunnies on the cover. That's that one that you and Alex watched. And it turned out to be really, really dark.
Really dark and dramatic. Yep.
Yes.
That was not a casual children's show for sure.
Okay. Someone said I had nightmares after watching the Mr. Bean movie. Yep. I've never seen Mr. Bean, but that's hilarious. Anyway, I won't read every comment on there. I'll have it linked if you want to go that deep. But that is pretty dang funny. Next story. Am I the asshole for having a scary kitty around children? I don't know where that accent is. Am I the asshole for having a scary, quote unquote, kitty around children? I, 27 male, have a cat named Stargazer. I adopted her 3 years ago, and she's truly a little survivor. She was abused, and as a result has no eyes and only 3 legs. Nobody wanted to adopt her because she has deformities, and she's also a black cat. So I did because she was going to be euthanized otherwise. My sister moved into my city this week, and her husband, both 43, needed someone to watch the kids since they were going to have a grown-up celebrate party. I agreed. Both of my nieces are 11, so they're not too little for me to handle, and I'd also be great enrichment for my cat since she loves children and women. I'm the only man she trusts. My nieces loved her, and while they first were a little scared, they thought she was cute after a while. My sister went to pick them up, and as the bell rang, my cat went running also to the front door, and when my sister saw her, she freaked out and started screaming. My cat ran away due to the noise, and my sister started yelling at me that I let my cat around her kids and saying she's demonic.
What
the next day, her husband called and said, unless the cat goes, I'll never have them over again. Am I that asshole?
Not even close. What the heck? What the heck? That's like a new level of hating animals. That's crazy.
That's kind of evil.
Yeah, that woman is the reason why cats like that are euthanized. There's too many of people like that in the world.
Yeah.
That's so messed up. Especially considering the kids ended up liking the cat too. What the heck?
The kids weren't scared by it. Well, at first. At first they were.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay. So, top comment. Guess they've just lost their free babysitter then. Sucks to be them. They sound horribly judgmental, and what a lesson to teach children. Things that look different are scary and demonic. I'm sorry you have such a close-minded family. Your cat sounds awesome, and good on you for the rescue. I love black kitties, and my mom's cats are both missing one eye. I've had cats with 3 legs and a deaf cat. They were all super awesome kitties.
So sad.
Yeah, that's crazy. And it's already a cat that's probably like having a hard time dealing with life, and then you scream at it like, that's so sad.
That cat can't really see, so yeah.
Yeah.
It said both eyes were out?
Yeah, the cat doesn't have any eyes and only 3 legs. And then he said it ran, and I couldn't get over that part.
That's sad.
Don't
ever abuse cats.
I know. Don't overabuse animals or people. So anyway, next story. Am I the asshole for telling my sister it's creepy to be jealous of me and pretend her doll is her child? Yeah. Anyway, me, 34 female, sister, 31 female.
Sorry, I just now registered what you said because of the accent. I just didn't even register what you said. That's already creepy. Yes. Anyway, sorry. Continue.
Okay. Me, 34 female. My sister, 31 female, has always been jealous of me. I've put a lot It's put a lot of strain on our family over the years, especially because she tries to displace her feelings elsewhere. For context, I met my husband in college and we were married 9 years ago. He's always been able to support our family of 4 kids between 7 years and 18 months. She needs to get birth control. Anyway, and I've been able to devote myself to my family, to my family entirely as a stay-at-home mom. I not only take care of my family, but also go to PTA meetings and am involved in the school community as well. My sister, meanwhile, has none of this. She claims she doesn't want kids and has never been able to make a relationship work. She was in graduate school for a while, but claimed that it made her miserable, so she dropped out without even finishing a degree.
Nice.
She always says that she's focusing on her career, but what career? She has a job in an industry known for not making any money. Granted, she has a high-level position within her organization, but again, no matter how high she goes, she's never going to make a lot of money. She also has been living with a male coworker for a few years now, even though they're not romantically involved. She says she isn't interested in a romantic relationship with him or anyone else and that he feels the same way. Recently, she came to visit. She was telling my husband and I and our parents about a conference that she went to recently and was excited because everyone there seemed to already know who she was. She had recently got a promotion. She started going on about it right after I shared how great my kids were doing in school, and it honestly felt very defensive, like she was just trying to justify her lifestyle because my family was doing so well. It made me a little annoyed, but mostly sad for her. That night, I caught her video. Sorry. I keep getting notifications. People are booking with me. That night, I caught her video chatting with her coworker/roommate. She has a stuffed dog that he gave her for Christmas named Harold, and she was talking to her coworker as if Harold was an actual baby. Quote, "Good night, roommate. I love you. I miss snuggling with you," while making the dog's paw wave. I was completely creeped out. It is not healthy to think of a stuffed animal as your own child, let alone talk to it like one? Question mark, question mark, question mark. I confronted her. She tried to laugh it off and said that it was just a silly thing she does with her roommate and refused to acknowledge the deeper issues here. I got frustrated and told her that it was creepy to be jealous enough to pretend a stuffed animal was her child, and that if she had wanted to be a mother, then she should have made that happen for herself years ago, instead of ruining her chances at happiness by focusing on a job. She laughed at me in the moment and said, "Why would I be jealous of you?" Later, my husband told me that he thought he heard her crying in the bathroom. Am I the asshole for trying to give my sister a much-needed reality check? I feel like she's needed to hear that if she ever wants to have a real family and not just a literal toy that she pretends is a baby.
Oh my gosh, what's wrong with this person?
This person is unhinged.
Yeah, mega unhinged. She started start talking about her stuff after I talked about my kids, and obviously she's just jealous of my kids. And then the proud to it's, I don't know, it really spelled out the annoying person, as she's proud that she's part of all the school meetings and stuff like that. That means that you're just extra being involved in that because you have nothing else for yourself.
Yup.
Yeah.
She was voted as the asshole, by the way. And here's some comments. There are no deeper issues. Just you trying to create drama to prove she's jealous of you so you can feel better about your life choices. Your sister wasn't crying because you gave her a reality check. She was crying because her sister was being cruel to her. Mm-hmm. You're the asshole. Someone else says, "Oh, there are issues here, but not with the sister. It's OP who has issues and should probably get counseling to find out why she's so obsessed with her sister that she thought eavesdropping on a private conversation's okay."
Yeah. And also to word that as how did the title word that? Oh, so dumb.
Am I the asshole for telling my sister it's creepy to be jealous of me and pretend her doll is her child?
Yeah, pretend her doll is her child.
Combo.
That's because there's no pretending that doll wasn't her child. She really just desperately needs her sister to be
She
jealous
seems
of
like
her.
somebody who would not extrapolate, expand like drama to make it seem like more. You know what I mean? People who it's not the same thing, but it's similar to the one we read last week where the person at work made up a story about the person's dead sibling. She didn't know they were dead, but she tried to make up a story.
Yeah. Extrapolate all this like random stuff, and then like after finding it's like, oh, but you're just like not telling me because you're supporting your brother even though he did these terrible things. Yeah. All this like makeup. It
reminds me of that. It's not really the same thing because this one had like a kernel of like something that happened, and then it's just blown up and interpreted in a different way. But it's that same vein of like kind of making a narrative. Yeah. Just picking something and running with it.
Yeah.
So that's really wild. But there's another comment. Let's see. Where was I at? I was waiting for her to tell us one example of where the sister was jealous, and I still don't see it. All I saw was OP putting down her sister, which each and every putting down her sister, which each and every exactly of her sister's life. Okay. I think example is what I'm supposed to say. Okay. I was like, what is... Okay, here's the exact sentence. All I saw was OP putting down her sister, which each and every exactly of her sister's life. So do with that what you will.
Example or something?
I think it's with each example with each and every example. But anyway, that threw me for a loop. As if sister couldn't be happy single with a high position in a low-paying industry with no kids. I guessed to OP being a stay-at-home mom, which is the only way to live, and therefore her sister has to be insanely jealous of her. OP sounds like a narcissist. To me, it sounds like that as well. So there's a lot of people who... they'll go about life in a specific way because that is what they are supposed to do. And they treat life like a game of winners and losers. And I am winning at the path that I view as valid. And I did all of the things. I'm not happy because that's not what I would have done if I knew I could choose things. But because I chose all of this and you didn't, you must be missing out because I'm the one that's supposed to be happy. I won all the things. I won all the games. You must be way more unhappy than me. So you're just pretending not to be unhappy, even though it sounds like she's projecting all of that. It's really sad when you don't do the things that you wanted to do in life. And then you also try to basically curse the people around you that did do what they wanted to do in life. It's pretty a sad way to live.
And also, not to mention, it's still the thing of like, in her position, she's still basically being the housewife who doesn't have to deal with nearly as much, while her sister is someone who has to actually deal with the job world. And it just like looking down on like, why would you do that? But like also your husband does that, and like you expect your sister to marry some other guy who would just do that. So it's also just like the no, you're supposed to just like not do or just stay at home.
It reminds me of the sour grapes. Like, for example, one of our friends, whenever you're getting married in general, you tend to have a lot of people talk about marriage for themselves too. Because like, if you're involved in people's wedding and talking about wedding, then you think about like your own life and like, you know what I mean?
Yeah,
you're like,
yeah.
Oh, especially if you're dating somebody, you're like, oh, like then you imagine your life. Do I see myself with that person? And you can't, you can't help it.
Yeah.
So I was used to that, but we had one friend who will remain nameless, and I won't give any whatever. But we have one friend who really, really went off to me one day, ranting about like, why would somebody want to get married? I never want to get married. It was probably like a 30-minute rant, I want to say. And it wasn't like targeted. It wasn't like you were crazy for getting married. It wasn't like that. But it still made me feel really bad. Like even when I think about it now, like it hurts my feelings. But they literally got married like a year and a half later. Maybe almost 2 years later.
Yeah, it's like.
But obviously I'm not gonna talk about who, but like it just made me feel really bad, and it reminded me of what that chick was doing. Basically, you're ranting about something that you actually do want, but you're trying to convince yourself that you don't want it because you feel like you can't have it. And in the girl's issue of the girl who had kids, she might not be able to have it because you have to devote your time to your kids, and she might not get that opportunity. She might have missed it. I mean, hopefully for her, she actually does get the opportunity to work and do the things that she wants to do, and hopefully stop being so judgmental. But typically people like that, not that my friend was like that, I'm not trying to say that, but no. It just reminded me of that kind of situation where you want something that you feel like you can't have, so you try to, it's like sour grapes kind of, where you kind of project. It's similar to sour grapes. It's not exactly.
I don't know what sour grapes.
Oh, you haven't heard sour grapes?
No.
Sour grapes. There's a Aesop's fable, I think, or something like that, where the fox is trying to jump up and get these grapes, and he can't reach them, and he tries and tries and tries, and then he's like, these grapes are probably sour anyway, and then walks away. And yeah, it's sour grapes.
Yeah. Okay. You see someone, like you see something that you can't have, and so you just say it's bad.
Exactly. It's exactly the same thing that the alpha males do when somebody when they go after a girl, and the girl's like, no, sorry, I'm not interested. And they're like, well, you're ugly anyway.
Yeah,
you're disgusting, like that kind of thing. They really will say that, and it's they're trying to make themselves feel better, and put her down.
Yeah,
because they probably went in thinking like, oh, I don't know if she'll like me. She's too good for me, and then they have to put her down because if she rejected them, she can't be that good anyway. You know what I mean? You have to just make yourself feel better. Yeah, anyway, that's kind of what it reminds me of. But this narcissism level takes it to a whole different thing. Like, you don't have to be a narcissist to feel like you have sour grapes, but narcissists are very commonly going to be like that.
Yeah, to constantly always feel like, oh yeah, my sister is jealous of my life. So
I kind of feel like that one should be reposted on Am I the Devil, because she is a work.
Piece.
She's crazy.
She's a work piece.
Okay, so that's all the scary stories I have. I couldn't really find a lot of them, so I want to read
spooky, scary skeletons.
So I want to read one more. Am I the asshole for breaking a man's nose because he apparently didn't know what stop means? I, 21 female, went to my local grocery store the other day to get 1 to 2 items and then go home. As I'm grabbing said items, they were on different aisles, I see a man, 45 to 55 years old, following me quite closely. You may say, oh, maybe it's just a weird coincidence. He wanted something on that aisle. No, he didn't pick up or even look at anything. Didn't even have a cart. A little more context, I was wearing a dress, not ridiculously short, but it was short because it's 90 degrees outside. Anyways, I got uncomfortable and just went and checked out. Didn't see the man until I was almost to my car. He walks up and tries to start making awkward small talk. How old I am, the fact that my license plate is a different state than the one I was in. Damn. That's really invasive. Where I was coming from, if I have a boyfriend, I told him I wasn't interested and asked him to please leave me alone. He didn't and got closer to me. I have a very big ick about people boxing me into small spaces, trauma. So I said quite loudly, please back away from me. I don't like this. He laughed and basically said, aw, she's upset. What a sweetheart. And is now 3 inches away from me. So I panicked and slammed the palm of my hand into his nose, which broke it. He began screaming at me, but I was having a panic attack and just got into my car and left. I told some friends about it and some say I'm an asshole because I could have just ducked away, and some say that it's a completely normal response for someone who has trauma. So, am I the asshole?
No. What the heck?
That's crazy.
That was a 2 very obvious warnings. Even if it's that's the thing. The moment she said it was older guy, I already saw the disrespect coming. But yeah.
Which is sad. It's sad that we're yeah.
Yeah. But yeah, that's gonna be a thing, and it's it's deserved. He deserved that. Maybe I don't know. I mean, I guess it's more that he learns his lesson. It might not be an equivalent thing on his end, but at least this is a way of learning that you should not do that, and that, you know, you don't know who people are, so getting up in their face and like disrespecting what they're saying to you is not a good idea. It's not only for yourself, like if you want to think selfishly, maybe this person's going to break my nose in a second, but also you're really freaking someone out and they're straight up telling you to get away from them. And you're just like, huh, no, she's playing hard to get. I just have to try harder. Like that mentality is so BS.
It's crazy. So someone said, you did good. Taught that masher a valuable lesson. Maybe saved a few other women the displeasure of its advances. And then someone said, I haven't heard someone use the word masher since my mother died 15 years ago. That was her favorite word for creep. And someone else said, masher. I haven't heard someone use the word masher since my mother died. No, sorry. They would just tag.
Yeah, it's the same thing over and over again forever.
Okay, sorry. I love the term masher. Only time I've heard it outside of this thread was in an I Love Lucy episode. And then someone said, this time he ended up the mashy, and I'm so pleased. So I have never heard the word masher. Will you look that up real quick, actually?
Also, I can imagine that...
Hold on.
Masher.
Noun. A utensil for mashing food. A potato masher. I don't think that's the right one.
But also the fact that you like playing the sound like we're pronouncing it wrong.
It just felt like the formal thing to do.
Oh my gosh. Okay. Okay.
I can't find anything about masher.
Urban Dictionary is probably where you should...
Oh, I found one on vocabulary.com.
Okay.
Masher.
Thanks. Definitely did that.
Okay, second definition. A man who is aggressive in making amorous advances to women.
Oh, it's very specific. Okay.
Synonyms: skirt chaser.
That's funny.
Wolf, woman chaser.
Well, and I can also see like the British, that masher, something like that. Yeah,
masher. I don't know. That's hard to say. Anyway, that was interesting.
Sorry, actually, it's pronounced masher. Masher.
Masha. Not me. I'm not good at British, okay?
No, but how they were pronouncing it, you know, I can't believe I tried to say something different. I'm glad that you played the pronunciation of masher for me so that I knew how to pronounce it. Appreciate it.
You're welcome. Mm-hmm. All right, so it looks like the verdict obviously is not the asshole. If somebody is coming up on you like that repeatedly, you're saying back away.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. What else are you gonna do? You're panic. Like, yeah. So, someone said maybe it's me, but I think it's a super naive to assume he learned his lesson. He's likely been acting like this his whole life, which means he's likely been hit before, whether by the woman he was harassing or a man she was with. I've seen guys pick fights at bars and get the shit knocked out of them, and they'll be laying on the ground saying, yeah, that guy was a pussy, because in his mind he won the altercation. But then someone said, how many times had he had a broken nose, though? Sounds like he'll feel this lesson for a bit longer than usual. Yeah,
but when you're that old acting like that, then the amount of copium that you have is extremely high.
Yeah.
So it's very unlikely. Unless his nose is permanently disfigured, then maybe if it like affects him later on. But if it's something that he can forget about, he'll probably keep acting like that.
Oh yeah, well, to be honest, he might act like that anyway.
Yeah.
People can mash things in their mind into anything they want it to be. So that's the last story that I have for this weekend. But I'll just tell you a story that's creepy about my life. It's not really a story. It's just like a situation. Basically, I lived with two other girls. We lived in the Houston area in a little rental house, and it was great. It was great. But then, unfortunately, one of us found this coin in the attic, like the night we were gonna move in, and got the keys, and she grabbed it and just had it. And then, since I'm a non-believer and a huge skeptic, this didn't really happen with me as much, but apparently the other two were seeing creepy things in the house. Doors were closing. This I did witness many times. Doors would close by themselves, with like loud clicks too. Yeah, both of them for some reason the master bedroom had some sort of creepy
Like presence.
Yeah. Friend number 1 who lived in the master bathroom saw a like spirit figure kind of thing in the bathroom, and the cat would always act weird too in those circumstances. I would have to ask them exactly what happened because I wasn't there during a lot of this. But then the other roommate saw the same thing in that bathroom area. I think 2 or 3 or 4 different times in the master bathroom they saw master bathroom / bedroom they saw creepy stuff. And then also downstairs one time they were by themselves. I was probably at work, and apparently one of them said, "Hey, do you see that?" And then the other one was like, "Don't even look. Just don't look at it. Just don't acknowledge that it's there, because nothing good can come of that." That's what, yeah.
Yeah, I remember that story.
That's what they told me later, and I was like, huh? And it's like, I didn't really see anything, but they certainly got me creeped out enough to be like, if I'm home alone, like one time I was doing the dishes and I was just like, and I don't see anything, but I'm like,
just feeling weird. Yeah.
Yeah, and that didn't happen every time, but like, if they're constantly talking about how creeped out they are, then, you know,
it gets in your head.
You get in your head. And then one time I was walking by one of their rooms, not the master, the other girl, and she was asleep in there, and it was just like the most cold air rushing out of her room, like under her door onto my feet. It was like cold air. I was like, what the heck? And she's like, "You didn't wake me up."
We just left her to
I
her
told
demons.
Her about
yeah.
It. Yeah. She's like, "What? You just left me in there?" I was like, "Yeah." A separate time, I heard like a bunch of knocking or something like that, and like a bunch of like I don't like it through the walls, whatever. Because whenever the master bedroom girl would shower, it would make so much noise, and you'd hear it through the walls, and it was annoying. And one day I thought it was something along those lines, and it was like nighttime, 10, 12, maybe even 1 or 2. I'm not really sure. And I texted because I knew the other girl was at work or something like that. She was gone. She might have been at her boyfriend's house. And then the other girl, I thought she was awake watching anime or something. So I texted her. I was like, "Is that you? Is that noise that you?" She like saw it the next morning. She's like, "No, that was not me." I was like, oh gosh. But I didn't know that at the time. And then there's one time she heard a bunch of creepy stuff, and I think she came to sleep in my room that day. Yeah. Anyway, there's more. But then also when we were around the time we were moving out, we found there was a carbon monoxide leak and a gas leak. So it could have just been us hallucinating. I don't know.
The shared hallucination from that one story does make it seem like, you know, maybe there's some creepy stuff going on. But yeah. They're all just crazy. That's really it. Women, am I right?
Or they're just making up the whole story
Totally
to creep me out.
Totally
Anyway, that's all we have for today. Thank you for tuning in. If you made it this far, comment in the comments pumpkin. And shut the fuck up. Anyway, we will see you next week, hopefully, if we're actually on schedule like we want to be. You never know. So anyway, goodbye.